walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light. After he had said this, he went on to tell them, Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up. His disciples replied, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better. Jesus had been speaking of his death, and his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him. Then Thomas, called Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, Let us also go, that we may die with him. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, Your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection of the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord, she told him, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was to come into the world. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house comforting her noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping. He was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Jesus wept. And the Jews said, See how he wept. But some of them said, Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying? Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, said Martha, the sister of the dead man, by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days. Then Jesus said, Did I not tell you that if you believe, you would see the glory of God? So they took away the stone. And Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out! The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, Take off the grave clothes and let him go. Therefore many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did put their faith in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. What are we accomplishing? They asked. Here is this man performing many miraculous signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, and then the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation. Then one of them, named Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, spoke up. You know nothing at all. You do not realize that it is better for you that one man die for the people than that the whole nation perish. He did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation, and not only for that nation, but also for the scattered children of God, to bring them together and make them one. So from that day on, they plotted to take his life. Therefore Jesus no longer moved about publicly among Then he withdrew to a region near the desert, to a village called Ephraim, where he stayed with his disciples. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, many went up from the country to Jerusalem for their ceremonial cleansing before the Passover. They kept looking for Jesus. As they stood in the temple area, they asked one another, "What do you think? Isn't he coming to the feast at all?" But the chief priests and Pharisees had given orders that if anyone found out who Jesus was, he should report it so that they might arrest him. John chapter 11. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. So the sister sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." When he heard this, Jesus said, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Yet when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Then he said to his disciples, "Let us go back to Judea." "But Rabbi," they said, "a short while ago the Jews tried to stone you, and yet you are going back there?" Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours of daylight? A man who walks by day will not stumble, for he sees by this world's light. It is when he walks by night that he stumbles, for he has no light." After he had said this, he went on to tell them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up." His disciples replied, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better." Jesus had been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead, and for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Then Thomas, called Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let us also go, that we may die with him." On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. "Lord," Martha said to Jesus, "if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask." "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this?" "Yes, Lord," she told him, "I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who was to come into the world." And after she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. "The teacher is here," she said, "and is asking for you." When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house comforting her noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. "Where have you laid him?" he asked. "Come and see, Lord," they replied. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. "Take away the stone," he said. "But Lord," said Martha, the sister of the dead man, "by this time there is a bad odor, for he has been there 4 days." Then Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. Then Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out! The dead man came out, his hands and feet wrapped with strips of linen and a cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, Take off the grave clothes and let him go. Therefore many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did put their faith in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. What are we accomplishing? They asked. Here is this man performing many miraculous signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, and then the Romans will come and take away both our place and our nation. And then one of them, named Caiaphas, who was high priest that year, spoke up. You know nothing at all. You do not realize that it is better for you that one man die.
You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. Am I enough? You shouldn't have done that. Am I enough? You. You shouldn't have done that. 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 You shouldn't. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that.
I just wanted to say hi and have a good day.
die for the people than that the whole nation perish. He did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus would die for the Jewish nation, and not only for that nation, but also for the scattered children of God, to bring them together and make them one. So from that day on, they plotted to take his life. Therefore, Jesus no longer moved about publicly among the Jews. Instead, he withdrew to a region near the desert, to a village called Ephraim, where he stayed with his disciples. When it was almost time for the Jewish Passover, many went up from the country to Jerusalem for their ceremonial cleansing before the Passover. They kept looking for Jesus, and as they stood in the temple area, they asked one another, "What do you think? Isn't he coming to the feast at all?" But the chief priests and Pharisees had given orders that if anyone found out where Jesus was, he should report it so that they might arrest him. John chapter 12. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus arrived at Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, while Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was with him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. "Leave her alone," Jesus replied. "It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me." Meanwhile, a large crowd of Jews found out that Jesus was there.
Maybe I should
not
have
only
it
because of him, but also to see Lazarus
kind of
being
like
raised from the dead.
this
So
doesn't admit until
Lazarus as well.
after
Him, many of the Jews were going over to
you say
Jesus
that.
and putting their faith in him.
But this is just
The next day, the great crowd that had come for the feast heard that Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. They took palm branches
the
and went out
fog,
to
I
meet him,
thought.
shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
I'm
Blessed
confused.
is the King of Israel."
I guess
Jesus found a young donkey and sat upon it, as it is written, "Do not be afraid, O daughter of Zion. See, your king is coming, seated on a donkey's colt." At first his disciples did not understand this. Only after Jesus was glorified did they realize that these things had been written about him, and that they had done these things to him.
yeah, it can't even play the sound. It's so quick when it takes damage
That he had given this miraculous sign went on to meet him.
that it can't.
Pharisees said to one another, "See, this is getting us nowhere. Look how the whole
It simply can't play the sound. That's funny. Maybe I should change
They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida,
the sound itself so that it's
"Sir," they said, "we
quicker.
would like to see Jesus."
I thought that I was doing that.
Andrew and Philip in turn told Jesus.
Done
replied, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces
Try
many
it
seeds.
really
The
fast.
man who loves his life will lose it, while the man who hates his life in this world will
See if
keep it
that
for
helps.
eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me. Now my heart is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name. And a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it, and will glorify it again." The crowd that was there and heard it said it had thunder. Others said an angel had spoken. Jesus said, "This voice was for your benefit. Now is the time for judgment on this world. Now the prince of this world will be driven out. But I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to myself." He said that before the time of death he was going to die. The crowd spoke up. We have heard from the law that the Christ will remain forever. So how can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up?
It doesn't
Who
say
is this
anything
Son
though.
of Man?
But
Then
let's
Jesus
try
told
it.
them, you were going to have the light just a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, before darkness overtakes you. The man who walks in the dark does not know where he is
Can I
going.
add a,
Put your trust in the light while you
or
have
should
it,
I
so that
add
you may become sons of light.
something like
When he
a
finished speaking,
grading
Jesus
effect?
left and hid himself from
Like
them.
when you attack them,
Even
it
after Jesus had done all these miraculous signs
changes
in their
something.
presence, they still would not believe in him. This was to fulfill the word of Isaiah the prophet. Lord, who has
Like-
believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed?
Makes
For
it
the
really
people
dark.
do not believe, because, as Isaiah says elsewhere, he
And
has blinded their eyes and deadened
I don't
their
know
hearts,
what
so
else
they
I
can
could
neither
do.
see with their eyes nor understand with their hearts, nor turn, and I would heal them. Isaiah said this because he saw Jesus' glory and spoke about him. Yet at the same time, many, even among the leaders, believed in him. But because of the Pharisees, they would not confess
So let's
their
make it
faith,
blurry
for fear they would be put out of the
and,
synagogue. For they loved praise from
you know,
men,
just to
more
give
than
it an
praise from
effect
God.
so I can see that it's
Then
working,
Jesus cried out,
I
when a
suppose.
man believes in me, he does not believe in me only, but in the one who sent me.
We're
When he
just
looks
trying
at
to get
me,
an enemy
he sees
down.
the one who sent me. I have come
Well, at
into
least
the
it
world
does
as a light,
something.
so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. And
Yeah, I
whoever
guess. I
hears
mean,
my words
so
and does not
quick.
keep them, I do not
But,
judge him. For I did not come
let
to
me go
judge
ahead
the
and
world,
delete
but to
this
save
guy
it. There is a judge for the one who rejects me and does not
and
accept
call
my
that,
word. That
at
one
least
whose
I got
word
it doing
which I spoke
something.
will condemn him at the last day. For I did not speak of my own accord, but the Father who sent
Better
me
than nothing.
commanded me what
At
to
least
say
now he does
and what to
damage.
say. I
It looks
know
better.
that his command leads to eternal life. So whatever I say is just what the Father has told me to say. John chapter 12. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus arrived at Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, while Lazarus was
I
among
gotta
those
save
reclining
everything
at
now.
table with him.
Otherwise
Then
it
Mary
won't
took about
update.
a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his
So I
feet
have to
with her hair.
manually go in
The
and
house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume.
pretty much
But one of his
manually
disciples,
save
Judas
everything.
Iscariot, who was later to betray him,
Seems
objected.
like it.
Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. Leave her alone, Jesus replied. It was intended that she should save this
Should make it
perfume
so
for
that the
day of
boss
my burial.
spawns
You will
just
always
during
have the
that
poor among
time.
you, but you will not always have me.
I mean, I gotta do
Meanwhile,
something with this
large crowd of
countdown.
Jews found out that
Like,
Jesus was there.
however
They
long
came
you
not
sit
only
there,
because of him, but also to see Lazarus when he had raised
it
from the dead.
spawns.
So the chief priests made
And
plans to
then
kill Lazarus
once
as well.
that goes
For on
away,
account of
then
him,
so does he.
many of the Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their
Like,
faith in him.
you can spawn them
The
for
next
that
day,
amount,
the
how
great
much
crowd
every
that had
time you
come to
sit
the
there.
feast heard that Jesus was on
It'd
his
be
way
better
to
if I actually had people that were playing so that they would hang out there
Blessed is
waiting
he who comes in
to
the name
spawn
of
the
the Lord.
boss.
Blessed is the King of Israel. Jesus found the young donkey and sat upon it, as it is written, Do not be afraid, O daughter of Zion. See, your king is coming, seated on a donkey's colt. At first his disciples did not understand all this. Only after Jesus was glorified did they realize that these things had been written about him, and that they had done these things to him. Now the crowd that was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from the dead continued to spread the word.
Yeah, he's not going to come up and
Many
attack
Jews,
you, he's
because they
just
had heard
running
that he had
away.
given this miraculous
he's
sign,
busy.
went out to meet him. So the Pharisees said to one another, See, this is getting us nowhere. Look how the
I mean, I
whole
could
world has
obviously
gone after
change
him.
that, but
Now there were some Greeks among those who went
no
up to
point.
worship at the feast. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, with a request.
He's more
Sir,
of my
they said, we
scout,
would like to see Jesus.
so that I don't have to
Andrew and Philip in turn told Jesus.
Do every little thing.
Jesus replied, "The hour has
Oh, this
come
guy's
for the
slow.
Son of Man to be glorified. I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. The man who loves his life will lose it, while the man who hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me. Now my heart is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name. And a voice came from heaven, I have glorified it, and will glorify it again. The crowd that was there...
Yeah, you're not going to beat my boss.
Others said, an angel.
He's a boss. So I figure out
Jesus
how.
said, this voice was for your benefit, not mine. Now there is the time for judgment on this world. Now the prince of this world will be driven out. But I, when I am lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to myself. He said this to show the kind of death he was going to die. The crowd spoke up. We have heard from the law that the Christ will remain forever. So how can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man? Then Jesus told them, you are going to have the light just a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, before darkness overtakes you. The man who walks in the dark does not know where he is going. Put your trust in the light while you have it, so that you may become sons of light. When he had finished speaking, Jesus left and hid himself from them. Even after Jesus had done all these miraculous signs in their presence, they still would not believe in him. This was to fulfill the word of Isaiah the prophet. Lord, who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? For this reason they could not believe, because, as Isaiah says elsewhere, he has blinded their eyes and deadened their hearts, so they can neither see with their eyes nor understand with their hearts, nor turn, and I would heal them. Isaiah said this because he saw Jesus' glory and spoke about him. Yet at the same time, many, even among the leaders, believed in him. But because of the Pharisees, they would not confess their faith, for fear they would be put out of the synagogue, for they loved praise from men more than praise from God. Then Jesus cried out, when a man believes in me, he does not believe in me only, but in the one who sent me. When he looks at me, he sees the one who sent me. I have come into the world as a light, so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. As for the person who hears my words but does not keep them, I do not judge him. For I did not come to judge the world, but to save it. There is a judge for the one who rejects me and does not accept my words. That very word which I spoke will condemn him at the last day. For I did not speak of my own accord, but the Father who sent me commanded me what to say and how to say it. I know that his command leads to eternal life. So whatever I say is just what the Father has told me to say. John chapter 12.
I wish I could get a scoreboard working for some of these
Jesus
things.
arrived at Bethany, where Lazarus lived, whom Jesus had raised from the dead. Here a dinner was given in Jesus' honor. Martha served, while Lazarus was among those reclining at the table with him. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, who was later to betray him, objected. Why wasn't this perfume sold and the money given to the poor? It was worth a year's wages. He did not say this because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. As keeper of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put into it. Leave her alone, Jesus replied. It was intended that she should save this perfume for the day of my burial. For you will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. Meanwhile, a large crowd of Jews found out that Jesus was there and came not only because of him, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests made plans to kill Lazarus as well, for on account of him, many of the Jews were going over to Jesus and putting their faith in him. The next day, the great crowd that had come for the feast heard that Jesus was on his way to Jerusalem. They took palm branches and went out to meet him, shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel." Jesus found a young donkey and sat upon it, as it is written, "Do not be afraid, O daughter of Zion. See, your king is coming, seated on a donkey's colt." At first his disciples did not understand all this. Only after Jesus was glorified did they realize that these things had been written about him, and that they had one day come before him. Now the crowd that was with him when he called Lazarus from the tomb and raised him from the dead continued to spread the word. Many people, because they had heard that he had given this miraculous sign, went out to meet him. So the Pharisees said to one another, "See, this is getting us nowhere. Look how the whole world has gone after him." Now there were some Greeks among those who went up to worship at the feast. They came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, with a request. "Sir," they said, "we would like to see Jesus." Philip went to tell Andrew. Andrew and Philip returned to Jesus. Jesus replied, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified. I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. The man who loves his life will lose it, while the man who hates his life in this world will keep it for eternity. Whoever serves me must follow me, and where I am, my servant also will be. My Father will honor the one who serves me. Now my heart is troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it was for this very reason I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it, and will glorify it again." The crowd that was there and heard it said it had thunder. Others said an angel had spoken to it. Jesus said, "This voice is for your benefit, not mine. Now is the time for judgment on this world. Now the prince of this world will be driven out. But I, when I am lifted up from you, will draw all men to myself." The crowd spoke up. "We have heard from the law that the Christ will remain forever. So how can you say the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is this Son of Man?" Then Jesus told them, "You are going to have the light just a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, before darkness overtakes you. The man who walks in the dark does not know where he is going. Put your trust in the light while you have it, so that you may become sons of light." When he had finished speaking, Jesus left and hid himself from them. Even after Jesus had done
Yeah,
all
we
these
put an
miraculous
emitter on all
signs,
those guys.
they still would not believe in him. This was to fulfill the word
Just so
of
I can have a
Isaiah,
room to fight in.
"Lord, who has believed our message, and to whom has
Get
the
more
arm of
coffee.
the Lord been revealed?" For this reason they could not believe, because, as Isaiah says elsewhere, "He has blinded their eyes and deadened their hearts, so they can neither see with their eyes nor understand with their hearts, nor turn, and I would heal them." Isaiah said this because he saw Jesus' glory and spoke about him. Yet at the same time, many, even among the leaders, believed in him. But because of the Pharisees, they would not confess their faith, for fear they would be put out of the synagogue. They loved praise from men more than praise from God. Then Jesus cried out, "When a man
Copy.
believes in me, he does not believe in me only, but in the one who sent me. When he looks at me, he sees the one who sent me. I have come into the world as a light, so that no one who believes in me should stay in darkness. As for the person who hears my words but does not keep them, I do not judge him. For I did not come to judge the world, but to save it. There is a judge for the one who rejects me and does not accept my words. That very word which I spoke will condemn him at the last day. For I did not speak of my own accord, but the Father who sent me commanded me what to say and how to say it. I know that his command leads to eternal life. So whatever I say is just what the Father has told me to say. John chapter 13.
Well, I
It was
need
just before the Passover feast.
to make
Jesus
these
knew that the time
emitters
had come for him to leave this world and
only
go to the Father.
emit when
Having loved his own who were in the world, he now showed them the full extent of his love. The evening meal
you're
was
in this
soon served,
zone,
and the devil had already
right?
prompted Judas Iscariot,
Or
son of
doesn't
Simon,
matter?
to betray Jesus. Jesus knew
I don't
that the
think that
Father
it
had put all
matters.
things
It'll
under
just
his
always
power,
emit
and that
one.
he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal,
I
took
believe.
off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, Unless I wash you, you have no part with me. Then, Lord, Simon Peter replied, Not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. Jesus answered, A person who has had a bath needs only to wash his feet. His whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you. For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said, Not every one is clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. Do you understand what I have done for you? He asked them. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am.
Oops.
Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your
Put
feet,
this on
you also
him.
should wash one another's feet.
Then do
I have
the
set you an
emit.
example that you should do as I have done for you. I tell you the truth, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. I am not referring to all of you. I know those I have chosen. But this is to fulfill the scripture. He who shares my bread has lifted up his heel against me. I am telling you now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you will believe that I am he. I tell you the truth. Whoever accepts anyone I send accepts me, and whoever accepts me accepts the one who sent me. After he had said this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and testified, I tell you the truth, one of you is going to betray me. His disciples stared at one another, at a loss to know which of them he meant. One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, Ask him which one he means. Leaning back against Jesus, he asked him, Lord, who is it? And Jesus answered, It is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish. And dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas Iscariot, son of Simon. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. What you are about to do, do quickly, Jesus told him. But no one at the meal understood why Jesus said this to him. But Judas had counted the money. Some thought Jesus was telling him to buy what was needed for the feast, or to give something to the poor. As soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out, and it was night. When he was gone, Jesus said, Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself.
That didn't work.
And will glorify him at once. My
Do
children,
they never
I will
hook
be
this
with you
object
only
to
a
emit
little
up, and
longer.
are they all
You will
emitting
look for
here?
me, and just as I told the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love
Let's just
one
make these
another.
last a while.
By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another.
Okay.
Peter asked him,
So,
Lord, where are you going? Jesus replied, Where I am going, you cannot follow now,
X-ray.
but you will follow later.
It's the invisible.
Peter asked, Lord, why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. Then Jesus answered, Will you really lay down
Between
your life for
emits.
me?
Oh, they're
I
on
tell you the
continuous.
truth,
I
before
only
the
need
rooster
one.
crows, you will disown me 3 times.
Well, continue, it says, and there's always going to be one.
Just before the Passover feast. Jesus
Wait,
knew
where's
the
it
time had
spawning?
come for him to leave this world and go to the Father.
Where's it
Having loved his
emitting?
own who
Okay,
were in the
right
world,
there.
he now
So,
showed them the full extent of his love. The evening meal was being
I think that's
served,
all I
and the
need
devil
to
had already
change for
come
the
to
amount
Jesus,
of time.
son
I
of
guess I
Simon, to
didn't
betray Jesus. Jesus knew
do
that
that
the
right
Father
away.
had put all
So
things under his
hopefully
power,
this will
and
fix
that he
it.
had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Jesus replied, You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. No, said Peter, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, Unless I wash you, you have no part with me. Then, Lord, Simon Peter replied, Not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. Jesus answered, A person who has had a bath needs only to wash his feet. His whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you. For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said, Not everyone is clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes
Why am I
and
red?
returned to his place. Do you understand what I have done for you? He asked them. You call me teacher
I
and
mean,
Lord, and
glowing
rightly so,
red.
for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as
I
I
don't
have
know.
done.
Are they going to show up or what?
I tell you the truth, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blameless if you do them. I'm not referring to all of you. I know those I have chosen. But this is to fulfill the scripture. He who shares my bread as
That?
if he is with me. I am telling you now before it
I
happens,
don't know what I
that when
did
it does
wrong.
happen, you will believe that
Let's
I
see.
am he. I tell you the truth. Whoever accepts anyone I send
Just need to
accepts
hang
me,
out here, I guess,
and
and see if
whoever
any of them
accepts me
respawn.
accepts the one who sent me. After he had said
I mean, the one dude just walked right off the cliff.
testified, I tell you the truth, one of you is going to betray me. His disciples stared at one another.
And the other guys didn't even show up. I don't know.
One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, Ask him which one he means. Leaning back against Jesus, he asked him, Lord, who is it? And Jesus answered, It is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish. When dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas Iscariot.
My thing ain't spawning. I don't know
As
what's
soon as
going
Judas
on.
took the bread, Satan entered into him. What you are about to do, do quickly, Jesus told him. But no one at the meal understood why Jesus said this to him.
I'm trying to see if there's going to be any, if they're going to show up. I mean, do I have to, I think I have to trigger them
As soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out.
with the zone? But I thought that they would just submit anyway. I'm so confused.
If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself, and will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you.
I mean, I put all those guys up there that should respawn
Just as I told the Jews, so I
by
tell
putting
you
them
now,
on an
where
emitter.
I am going, you cannot come.
Now they're gone.
A new command I give you, love one another. As
And
I
none
have
of them's
loved you,
respawning.
so you must love one
I'm
another.
a little
By this
confused.
all men will know that you are my disciples, if you
Why?
love one another.
I don't know. They're doing this for some
Lord, where are
reason.
you going? Jesus replied, Where I am going, you cannot follow now.
I mean, it'd be great if they just all like come out at different times now, since I set them at different times, and it would be like a little bit unpredictable. That's what I'm aiming for. Is
I tell you the truth. Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times.
a little bit of randomness.
It was just before the Passover feast. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world,
None of them
he
yet,
now
huh?
showed them the
None
full
of them.
extent of his love. The evening meal was being served, and the devil had already prompted Judas Iscariot, son of Simon, to betray Jesus.
You've tuned in to Stranger Than Fiction News, broadcasting live from the dark side of the planet. Right now, ladies and gentlemen,
He said,
there's a freedom protest in Michigan. People want their freedoms back. People want their country back. They don't understand the nature of what they're up against. We'll be getting into the latest
these ain't working.
information. Not only are Americans up against a virus, ladies and gentlemen, they're up against a police state, a tyranny, a new world order, a dictatorship, a king, if you will. It's rather ironic. They're out there protesting for freedom. But this administration has let this virus in, has declared a state of emergency to suspend your constitutional rights. But have no fear, ladies and gentlemen. Every state was as complicit. They certainly didn't order any masks. They certainly didn't save the day. Right now they're talking about even worse things than the federal government, if you can believe that. They want chips and tests and masks. Fuck's sakes, the video guy's fired. Hardcore fired, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just undoing
Welcome
this stuff.
to
It doesn't
Twister.
seem to like what I did.
Another beast system component.
So
A lot of
I'm
people
gonna try
are
something
concerned
a little
about their
different.
jobs. Fuck's sakes.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
That's it, dude. Fucking hate Twitter, man. They're all run by a bunch of Sodom and Gomorrites, and you know, these people are all complicit in this operation. Believe it or not, this dark matrix, this demonic legion, this army of the devil. Oh yes, the devil has an army. It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's Apple, it's Google, it's Washington D.C., it's NBC, it's ABC.
Okay.
They are legion, ladies and gentlemen. And right now, the Attorney General for Michigan is saying, using your right to protest is a manner to spread the virus. Protesters are not remaining 6 feet apart. This is the response from the Attorney General, not your constitutional rights. It said something different before. Oh yeah. She changed this, I think. Anyways, maybe not. But it was, you know, protesting doesn't make you a patriot. Somehow this changed. A patriot is defined as a person who vigorously supports their country and obviously not locking down, not sheltering in place, not complying with the orders of the imperial masters is unpatriotic, ladies and gentlemen. They let this virus in, they suspend your constitutional rights, and if you're not happy with that, you're unpatriotic. See how these people think? It's disturbing. It's like how they roll out these death towers. If you don't want a death tower in your neighborhood, you're unpatriotic. You're a terrorist. And, you know, they don't ask you if you're okay with that. Most of these towers are operating above FCC limits, by the way. And many of them are unlicensed. We've got quite a few local news reports on that. Ladies and gentlemen, video guys on vacation. How's everybody doing out there? We're hacking the Matrix, broadcasting live on the ScrewTube. another unpatriotic platform. And this is just so fucking annoying, man. There we go. We got scenes from Lansing, Michigan right now. Lots of people showed up. They want their rights back. They want their country back. Many people don't appreciate the full scope of this bioweapon. Seems like a lot of healthy people out there, though, doesn't it? Have they gotten the virus? Are they managing the symptoms? How many of you feel like you've been hit with this super virus? Do you know anybody? We're trying to figure it out. There's a lot of people that are saying that they've been affected personally, and some people are saying that they don't know what you're talking about, what virus. So this is the scene right now in Michigan, and I'm sure we'll be seeing this in many other cities across the country. And right now it looks like the worst is over. People are eager to get back to business. They want their jobs back. They want their livelihoods back. They want, the good old days back again. The New World Order has different plans, though. The good news, there'll be plenty of jobs at Amazon. Soon, every grocery store will be like an Amazon Go store. Amazon stock prices basically skyrocketed. They're hiring hundreds of thousands of people to cope with the new world because they know something you don't. Every time we try to restart society, reopen the malls and the schools, the outbreaks are going to continue. We're going to need everyone to work from home. We're going to need everyone to do their shopping from home, stay home forever. And if you go out, you're going to need a mask. You're going to need the full gear. It's a nightmare. And it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future. Now, I'm sure there'll be people that resist and go out there without a mask, go back to work and pretend like nothing's going on. Some people will resist and other people will not resist. Some people will survive, others will not survive. You will undoubtedly have, a segment of the population that is immune to this virus. Let's say 20%. For those people, it'll be like, what are you talking about? They'll be able to do whatever they want, and everybody else will have to stay at home. Sounds positive. Video guy's fired. So, there's probably plenty to say about what's going on right now. I think it's pretty obvious that we need to get our country back, but going back to work is really only part of the solution, ladies and gentlemen. As long as this government, this new world order is in place, they will keep activating their death towers and triggering outbreaks. Guaranteed. They're going to juice this for everything is good. And so the question is, when will it end? It'll end when people don't just storm to Lansing. It'll end when people storm Washington, D.C. and end the Fed as we know it. That's basically the only solution here. Another declaration of independence. This administration is starting to sound more and more like King George or whatever. And we say no radiation without representation. Who do you people think you are putting up your death towers in our neighborhoods, unleashing your virus, molesting our children, and the like? It's about time that Christians had their own homeland. ladies and gentlemen, because right now it looks like nothing but Sodom and Gomorrah out there. What do you think about that? Is that, is that extreme? There's a church in every town. Every school textbook used to be centered around the Bible. That was the American way. That's what it talks about in the Declaration of Independence. Unalienable rights.
Oops. No.
And wherever we go, we see, government basically trampling on our rights. That's a given. That's understood. But now they're like gassing you. Like you're in a gas chamber. They've turned our cities into giant concentration camps. And these death towers, they're like the geofence. That's essentially what we're looking at right now. Look at these new monster death towers, ladies and gentlemen. That's the 5G.
Was he not doing
But
damage?
the 4G is deadly as well. 4G Max, 4G Plus.
I swear this guy is not doing damage.
We're going to see that we're actually at a high school football stadium. And you got a death tower on each side of the bleachers. Can you believe that? You can't even go watch a football game anymore without getting dosed. And they're dosing you where you don't even expect it. At the grocery store, at the gas station. If you had a meter, you would know that these places, that draw in people,
I think I'm
have been
crashing the
turned
game.
into death traps. And
Okay,
if it
let's,
doesn't bother you seeing a giant death tower in your neighborhood, I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't think you
A little
understand,
too much.
the physics of the situation. And you might be saying to yourself, well, the government says it's safe. They've recalled a ton of drugs that were FDA approved. And at one point in time, they said,
Okay, let's try
these
it
drugs
that way.
were safe. But as the evidence began to mount, it became obvious that these drugs were not safe. Imagine like, somebody's offering you some kind of thing. And half the people are like, oh yeah, it's wonderful, and the other half are like, oh no, it's messed up. How eager would you be to try that out? If you go shop for something online and you see as many negative, comments as positive ones, how interested would you be in that product? That's what we're looking at here. But so much worse, in fact. We talked about the effects of this radiation on the immune system. And in a recently declassified Air Force report on RF and microwave radiation, it has been observed to cause physical alterations in the essential cells of the immune system. That sounds important. Essential cells of the immune system. Imagine like essential components of the motor. What happens if you mess with that? Goes on to say a degradation of immune response. No kidding. That's what exposure to this radiation causes. And not just super high doses, relatively low doses for extended periods of time. This stuff is a nightmare. And while you're locked down, sheltering in place, fearing for the worst, they're rushing out these death towers. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole thing is suspicious. The whole thing, they're blaming the WHO, they're blaming the Chinese, and there's blame there. There's lots of blame there. But what about these people that let it in? It's not like they can say nobody was trying to warn them. Everybody was trying to warn them. And they're saying, well, they stopped the flights on January 29th or February 1st, a week after the lockdown in Wuhan, a week after, the epidemic was declared. But this thing had been raging for weeks, and they knew it came in. There's no doubt about that. The least they could have done is tell people to, be safe out there. Wear a mask, don't go to the Super Bowl party. We were warning people, don't go to the Super Bowl parties. Watch out there. This thing is circulating already. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. But they couldn't even give you the simple advice of be careful out there. There might be something in the air. And, while they were getting secret briefings, they were telling you everything was fine and they were selling their stocks. And so, no matter how you look at this, from the best case scenario to the worst case scenario, it looks really bad. They were more interested in their stocks, in their own money, than, public health or the welfare of the country. How much better off would we have been had we been able to limit the damage, like in countries like North Korea or Japan or other places? You just had everybody wear a mask and continue on. And, the minimum amount of people got infected. Here they just let everybody get infected. Everybody breathe it in, it got, it's in the small towns. I mean, we've got reports of, small towns in the middle of nowhere, far, far away from the city with confirmed cases. I mean, they really waited as long as they could before doing anything, before pulling out, And it was an obvious rape. Another, assault. Another attack on humanity. Another attack on citizens out there. So it's nice to see people jumping in their cars and driving around in Michigan and honking their horns, calling for the resignation of the dictator, who doesn't even want people to garden in Michigan. Good thing it's not the Garden State, huh? So yeah, I mean that's the big news right now. People want their liberty back. They want their freedom back. And you really have to wonder, what is freedom these days? Freedom is what the television tells you freedom is. And, people want just to be able to go back to what it was, in December 2019. To them, that was freedom. We'd just like to go back to that. Could we just go out and go shopping and go to work? Like good little slaves, will you let us out of our homes so we can go slave away at the factory? I don't think they need you anymore. I don't think they need people anymore. They got robots, they got AI. People are totally expendable. You know what I mean? No need for people anymore. And so they're going to start clamping down. We don't just need an Operation Gridlock, ladies and gentlemen. We need Operation Guillotine. I think there needs to be, a guillotine station in every town with due process, of course. But they used to, guillotine the worst of the worst criminals in public squares to send, send home a message. We don't do that anymore. Really. But we could, ladies and gentlemen. But should we? What should be the price these criminals pay for unleashing the virus? For stealing your rights away? Oh, what could it be?
Oh.
Look at all the people just, show up. You think that's going to make a difference at this stage. You know, I don't think people really want their freedom, to be quite honest with you. If that's the extent of, you know, the protest. What is going on here? Permanent crisis. New York divides scientific opinion with decision to add whatever. You know, it's going to be interesting if we ever get any freedoms back at this stage. You can tell they want to brand you like cattle, make it extra difficult just to drive around, just to go to work. You're going to need to get testing. You're going to need to get papers. You're going to need to wear, you know, some kind of special
papers.
ID.
I need
And
some
they
papers.
chip you right now if they could get away with it. Quite
My
honest.
papers.
But right now, intelligence is telling us that they're definitely going to try and go cashless, ladies and gentlemen. What difference does it make at this stage? You know, they've, you know, overtly declared war on humanity, on citizens, on people in every country. I mean, every government let this virus in. They knew what was going on. You know, we saw the press briefings in different languages from different countries, and they were all laughing pretty much at the citizens, you know, when this was kicking off, watching people scramble to the grocery store. They're all sneering and laughing at you, enjoying, you know, the chaos. How long will it last? It's funny to see them position themselves as, you know, saviors in this situation. They cause the problem, and then they're like, yeah, we'll put out the fire. Don't worry. Seems a little too self-serving, ladies and gentlemen. Seems like a lot of people are asking themselves, how can we get rid of this government?
What?
And we've got some real bad news for you.
Government.
Unless you want to deal with creepy Biden as president.
What?
We're stuck with this guy for the next 4 years. We got to listen to this guy for
This
another
guy
4
doesn't
years.
even go on to the Michigan thing. He's just wanting to ramble about his things. Whatever, man. Whatever. One minute, sorry. Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna check out this timer up here. Actually keeps track of time. I don't know what I got going on. Maybe like if you sat here, it would record how long you're sitting there, but when you leave, it starts counting down. So I would like to have it so that when it gets to a maximum, it spawns something, and then you have that much time to complete it. I thought that would be cool. You know, a nice, solid, trackable quest.
Breaking news. Death towers are burning. Videos are coming in from everywhere. And it's so beautiful to look at. Look at these pretty colors. Have you ever seen anything so magnificent in your life? And this is democracy at work. This is civil disobedience. No radiation without representation, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, it's not a surprise that people are out there burning these things down. Now, of course, we can't recommend to do such a thing legally, but it is beautiful to watch. Democracy in action. The people have spoken. They don't want death towers in their neighborhoods, ladies and gentlemen. And why don't they want death towers in their neighborhoods? Can anybody guess? From this recently declassified Air Force report into the effects of EMF and microwave radiation, it says, quote, exposure to RF microwave radiation has been observed to cause physical alterations in the essential cells of the immune system and a degradation of immunological response, with numerous citations. They've known for decades, ladies and gentlemen, that this attacks the white blood cells. And there's a reason why you get a lot of leukemia cases in proximity to power lines and cell towers, because these electric fields have a huge impact on the white blood cells, and they cause cancer of the white blood cells. That's leukemia. So you've got a lot of reasons to be, let's just say, overly cautious in the middle of an outbreak with this virus that attacks the immune system, attacks the respiratory system, it attacks the nervous system, it attacks the heart, the brain, the liver, the kidneys, the works. It's like fucking Ebola, pardon the language. It's like airborne AIDS. It's a bioweapon that has escaped the lab. It's like a huge tidal wave of
Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I think I'm done with this part, ain't I? I gotta go and test my door. Oops. Come on, man. Come on, man. I can't even get in there with this character. He's too hard to control. Okay, so is my shooter here? Okay, shooter remix. What's this? Okay, let's see if that works. Play. Oops. I forgot I had a special one up here. What you doing, dude? Can I just save you as a new creation to as a shooter? And then I can get rid of you and you. Then I have 4. And should I be able to play it now? It could be green, I could be blue, I could be red. I guess once I pick, that's it. Enough. Well, of course, saving it. Name of the game. What was that? What was that? I saw something. What's going on? Am I really that far away from center? Am I moving or what? Where is this guy? They totally hide him on me. How did I see that last time? That was under see drive points. I'm so confused. I don't even understand what this is supposed to be doing. Is that just a floaty thing there? Wait, what's that? Wait, where am I? Where is my guy? Every time I do that, I lose him. Ugh. I don't even know what is going on. X-rays. I don't want to be in this guy. Am I? Like inside of him? Can I go to play mode? Okay, edit. Yes, please save all that. I hope that did something good. I don't know. I don't know. Can I look at it now? What did I do? So when I edit this guy, there we go. So yes, logic, logic, lots of logic. So first things first is this needs to change. What are they doing when I'm possession mode? Not even forcing it. It's in the controller, isn't it? Like, yeah, head, neck, visible, activate camera, and not gate visible, activate camera. So that's not too complicated, I guess. And shoot button, nod, calculator, pulse, shoot. Okay. Well, I don't like how it's possessing you. Can't see the guy when it does that. Something's a little buggy on there. I guess that's okay, right? I mean, nice content. I really liked it. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pause this. I gotta use the bathroom and stuff.